Welcome to the Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristin Hildabrand, your host, and visiting again with us today is Angie with Petal Seekers Flower Farm. I feel like drying cut flowers, you have to learn it and then you can apply it, and you have really applied it in a lot of these different creations. Can you kind of walk us through some of the ways that you've utilized dry flowers?
Sure. Well, this is probably the first year that I've made the larger wreaths, which I absolutely love. I've always wanted to make them, but it was a bit of a learning curve because, like you said, you have to learn about how to dry the flowers, and then just each individual flower dries a certain way. But when I first started with our dried flowers, we used a lot of them in the fall, and we embellished like heirloom pumpkins. We had a workshop at our farm, and that was a really popular thing. And then we did some of the small gourds. We embellished those, and everybody loved those. And they're just like a popular staple during the fall time of the year. Of course, you can use them anytime. But we've done those, we've done our wreaths. I've made a couple of flower crowns. This was for one of our little cats. We don't have him anymore. His name was Franklin, but I did a little photo shoot with him and he was so cute. But we also made, it was a full head wreath, flower crown, for one of our local people. She was a cancer survivor and she was growing her hair back. So she wanted a flower crown, so we made her one of those. It was beautiful and it was so much fun.
Yes, yes. Now you've got to tell me about these frames here with these.
Yeah, we did some pressed flowers. That particular one's lavender. And then we have some, I think, on the other side that have pansies in them. Yeah, and we just press those the old-fashioned way. I use parchment paper in a book, slide them in there. You want to make sure they're completely dry though, because if you don't, you'll have like drops of moisture. Some of the darker flowers don't dry as well. But put them in a book and a couple weeks later come back and voila.
Yeah, so this would be such a nice gift to give, I feel like, because that's almost like wall art in my mind, the way you've got it displayed here.
It really is. And there's so many different flowers that you can press. If you're getting married, some of your flower petals and press. There's so many people that take dried florals and turn them into wall art with like an arrangement almost on the wall. And I don't know if you've seen where people have taken individual flowers and just created works of art. I would love to do something like that, but I'm not quite that creative, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, you can add that to the next steps.
There you go.
There you go. But you were saying here that for a wreath like this, how many stems of dried flowers?
It takes a lot of stems, depending on the wreath and what's on it, anywhere from 150 to 300 stems. Each individual dried flower takes up so much space, so it's really based on that. But it takes a lot of time. So even though you may just really, really want to make a wreath, you got to make sure you have plenty of stems to put together. But another option is to make a wreath that only has a few stems on it. I don't know if you've seen some of the beautiful gold circles that you can just attach them to, so you can have that. And then put some of your favorite pieces on it. So
now, is there anything that we can spray? Because occasionally you'll get some dried flowers that occasionally want to come off as you move it, like in your home if it was a wreath. So
yes.
Is there anything that you could do to kind of hold its form?
You can. Now we don't spray anything because I'm just kind of leave it all natural, but some people have used hairspray before, but they do offer like a more commercial preservative spray, and I think you can get it like at one of the local craft stores. But you can do that, and hopefully you won't have as much like little mess. But I just say put it where it's going to go and leave it, and then you don't have to worry about the mess. So.
Yes. Well, I certainly appreciate you, Angie, coming to talk to us today. Now, if somebody wanted to follow along to see some of your other creations for dried flowers, where could they find you?
Sure. Well, they can always look on our website. That's a good way to keep up with us. It's petalseekersflowerfarm.com. We're also on Facebook under Petal Seekers Flower Farm. Our Instagram handle is @PetalSeekers. We sell some Saturdays at Bounty of the Barons Farmers Market in Glasgow. And we also belong to Southern Kentucky Floral Exchange, and they're actually going to have a new storefront opening hopefully in the next couple weeks. So we may have some of our creations in there, and then some of our fresh cut flowers will be in there.
I was going to say, awesome. Angie, I appreciate you coming. We appreciate you guys watching us, and make sure you come back and join us again for next time. Thank you.